All right, Matt, our fourth fight on the main card, Bellator 238. This is another potential fight of the night. You have Henry Corrales and Juan Archuleta, two guys that were knocked out of the Bellator Featherweight World Grand Prix earlier on in 2019, I guess. Corrales taking on Darian Caldwell and getting mopped, and Juan Archuleta taking on Patricio Pitbull, the champ, and getting mopped. And in this one, it's so fun because these are realistically two of the better guys in the division. I mean, yeah, the fact that they were in the Grand Prix is great, but these guys each had a real legit shot at the belt. And you look at Henry Corrales, a guy that fought Daniel Strauss, he fought Emmanuel Sanchez, and then Patricio Pitbull lost all three. Then he won 5 in a row, and then he fought Caldwell. For Juan Archuleta, he won oodles and oodles of fights in King of the Cage. He was a 3-division champ in King of the Cage. Came over to Bellator, continued to win, and then that one loss to the champ. So in terms of predicting it that way, it's very difficult. You can't go on past record. You have to go on styles here. I will set it up with the odds and the Tapology picks. The odds, minus 250 Archuleta, plus 220 Corrales at a 245 votes over on Tapology. 87% going Archuleta, with 77 picking him to win by decision. What are you thinking about this one?
I worry about Corrales' cardio in this fight. That's the only thing that concerns me. We see in a lot of his fights, he's sort of a front runner. He's got that round and a half sprint, and then he kind of relies on the damage that he causes early to carry him through the rest of the fight. Because if he hurts his opponent enough, his cardio issues won't really be that big of a deal because they'll be compromised to a certain degree. But Juan Archuleta, we saw in the Pitbull fight, he will get dropped about 9 times just to get back up for a 10th. It's kind of insane.
Kind of like an Eddie Alvarez.
Kind of like an Eddie Alvarez, sort of Michael Bisping-esque, where it's, okay, I'm going to get dropped, and then the real fight starts. And Archuleta sort of encapsulates that perfectly. When he fought Boric, it was kind of the same idea. Or not Boric, Ricky Bandejas. It was kind of the same thing. He'd get clipped, he'd go down, but he'd get right back up and just start firing off volume. And I feel like the volume is going to be the real key to this fight. Corrales he shouldn't be nearly as big of an underdog as he is, as you alluded to. But I do feel like Archuleta should still be the favorite. And I think the volume at a certain point, even though it's a 3-round fight, he's going to be able to get to a Corrales eventually. And I don't think he'll get the finish, but I feel like it will be a fairly dominant decision for Archuleta.
I could see that happening for sure. And you're talking about a Juan Archuleta, a guy that trains at the training lab with Syed Awad, TJ Dillashaw. Ooh, thick boy.
It's not.
And it's a good team.
It is.
And very analytically driven, but that doesn't matter. When you're taking on a guy like Henry Corrales, I'm sure they're going to see those weaknesses. But this is one of those guys that's surprised on multiple occasions. And when he fights the best of the best, sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses. I think he's going to be able to get the win here. I'm going to pick the underdog in this one. And again, Bellator odds make no sense at all. Sometimes you see this huge spread.
Well, same with PFL, really, for that. Like, anyone who's not the UFC is not very good at setting their own odds.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. I'm going to pick Corrales. Matt's going with Archuleta. A little bit of a difference there. It's good that we don't always agree, but we're really looking forward to the entire card. The main card, the prelims. You can find our predictions for Bellator 238 here on YouTube with Fight Night Picks. Let's get into it.